Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. This is Brittany Likes Bookies, where we keep it cute, we keep it classy, and we definitely keep it diverse. You're probably going to be very confused because I look very different now, and I'm also in a different sweatshirt than I do in the actual video. And you're all probably wondering, okay Brittany, why do we care? Well, you probably don't, but I have two different microphones and I've been trying them out and trying to figure out the best setup for them, and for some reason when I recorded the intro to this video, the first video doesn't have any audio, so I had to re-record it so that I could edit it and get it uploaded and ready to premiere next weekend. So yeah, anyways, so what are we talking about in this video, you might be asking? Well, I've been really excited about this because, well, actually, by Mazey Eddings is one of my favorite books of the year, and I'm so glad to be able to be talking about it, to tell you all of my thoughts, all of my feelings, how much I loved it, how much I loved Eva and Riley. And yeah, I've also been really excited to film this video, which has already been filmed, but you know what, whatever. Because not only did I love Well Actually, I got the hot dog food truck Lego, and I'm gonna build it while talking about Well Actually, because I think that's really funny, and I think it's really fun. At least I thought it was going to be fun, and it is, and you guys are going to see it. But yeah, I'm like really sad that my original intro didn't have any sound. I'm not really sure why, but I'm going to talk about Well Actually by Mazey Eddings, and we're going to build this adorable Lego. It's a hot dog food truck, because Eva, the female main character in this, does a like podcast with what she calls, I can't remember if I read the blurb now or after this, so you'll hear her blurb, but anyways, she does a podcast called Sausage Talk, and this also is now sitting on my bookshelf next to where Well Actually is. So yeah, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to be talking about Mazey, Well Actually, my love for all of Mazey's books, but especially this one, and my love for Eva and Riley, while I build this adorable Lego, which I did have a lot more Lego, but I don't want to go too deep into it. When my ex and I broke up, I just simply don't have the room for them, so he has most of them, I just have two of them, but this is one of the ones that I wanted to keep because I think it's silly, and I think it fits perfectly with Well Actually. So I'm not going to talk for 700 years, but yeah, that's why I look different, that's why this is at a different angle, different sweatshirt, but without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so yes, we are talking about Well Actually by Mazey Eddings. I did an immersive read for this. I listened to the audio. Shout out to Macmillan Audio for the advanced copy. This did come out, let's say, in August. It could have been early September. Don't judge me. Excuse me. I have 3 brain cells, and none of them ever work. So we're open for the best. I'm trying to check the copyright page because I would like to tell me when it came out. Let's see, this just says 2025. I think it was August. I would have to look it up. But anyways, so we're going to be talking about Well Actually today while I build this adorable Lego. Look how cute she is. Also, look how cute this cover is. Plus, the first printing of these gorgeous blue edges, and I love them. Also, here's the back. I'm going to read this to you, but pause if you do want to read it. So before we fully get into this, and I open this gorgeous little box here, I'm going to read you the blurb of Well Actually so you can understand fully why I'm building a hot dog food truck while talking about it. First, I'm going to start with one of the author blurbs. It's from Lila Sage. She says, Well Actually is, well, stunning. Eddings' voice is distinct, her observation sharp, an absolute delight of a book. And Lila, I couldn't agree more.
Now for the blurb. Let's talk about what the book is actually about. Eva Kitt never expected to be the host of Sausage Talk, interviewing B-list celebrities over many years instead of pursuing the journalism career she dreamed of. When Eva publicly calls out her college ex for ghosting her, her video goes viral. It doesn't help that said ex is Riley Cooper, a beloved social media personality who has built a platform on teaching men how to be decent partners by deconstructing toxic masculinity. Now Eva's forced to confront him on a live episode of Sausage Talk, where Riley makes her a deal. Allow him to take her on a series of dates to make up for his toxic behavior, then debrief them all on his channel. Eva refuses to play nice, but agrees to the deal to further her own career and continue defaming Riley's good name. And when these manufactured dates start to feel real, Eva has to wonder if the boy who broke her heart has become the man who might heal it. And Grace Riley, who's the USA Today bestselling author of the Beyond the Play series, also said, hilarious, heartfelt, and real. I wish I could live in Mazey Eddings' brain. I also wish I could live in Mazey Eddings' brain. I've loved everything that Mazey has written, and well, actually, it was no different. So I'm going to put her here so you can stare at her while we're building this Lego. So I probably should have opened this for me. But now you get to see me struggle, because I've always struggled with opening these, even though they have these like little hole punchies that you can use to open them to make this easier. Okay, so we have our instructions here. Don't fret. Also, this is one of the Friends Legos, and I'm a huge fan of the Friends Legos. So, okay, I have book 1. I have all the pieces for 1. This is for 2, so we can put this over here. Okay, so let me open this before I start talking. Pour it out. Okay, so now that we're set up for this, let's talk about, well, actually, Mazey Eddings. I have been a longtime fan of Mazey's. I had a friend who introduced me to Mazey before her debut came out, which was A Brush with Love. And I fell in love with Mazey from the beginning, so shout out to Bethany. I don't even know if you watch these videos or know if I have a YouTube video, because I'm terrible at getting on Discord. And, yeah. So, Bethany had, I believe, beta read for Mazey, and was telling me about A Brush with Love, and I was lucky enough to get an ARC because I was like, all right, I have to read this. So, hello. Do I even know how to build Lego? Oh my goodness gracious. You guys get to see me struggle busting through some of this, so please enjoy as I try to build Lego. Look at this is a 4+, so this is for people who are younger, or it can be for people who are younger, but clearly I just was struggle busting trying to get her hair on. Look how cute she is. She's gonna be holding our little hot dog, okay? She will indeed have a hot dog, which I think is cool, okay? Do not judge me and my love for these silly little sets, because they make me happy. Okay, so my friend Bethany introduced me to Mazey, and I truly fell in love. Honestly, truly. So from A Brush with Love and on, I've loved everything that Mazey's written. I'm a huge fan. You can't tell me anything else, like, quite frankly. Let's see if I can actually put the dog in my hand. This is probably going to be my most chaotic video because I did not think about the fact that I have ADHD and the idea of multitasking is hard. So I'm guessing this is supposed to be like a burst, but here we go. She's gonna sit over here since we always build the characters first, especially like with each bag if there's a character. That is what we do with Friends. Okay, so we're starting with the base of the truck. So I truthfully really fell in love with Mazey from the very first book, and I continued to read her. But when I heard about Well Actually, as someone who like really loves watching some of, I don't want to say my favorite celebrities because I think it's weird to be like obsessed with celebrities, but you know, I do enjoy watching certain interviews for certain actors that I'm a fan of, or singers, or whomstever. And it's when I heard about this, it very much made me think of like Hot Ones or Amelia Dermolds Very Silly Chicken Shop Date. So I was super excited, especially because I love like the second chance romance. I cannot even lie. I am a girl who loves a good second chance. As someone who's also currently writing a second chance romance. If I ever decided that I was, I don't know, actually old enough and ready to finish writing my childhood friends to lovers that is a second chance romance. But I was really excited for this because it sounds funny. I love a good book that has a viral moment, especially when it's supposed to be like silly and, you know, something that like you don't expect to go viral, because I feel like that's how a lot of those videos go. You don't expect to go viral and then you go viral and you're like, well, shoot, now what? So I went into this already excited. I can't even lie. I was super hyped, and I was so thankful that I was able to get an e-arc from St. Martin's Press. They are pretty wonderful to me. I think I've gotten an arc of every one of Mazey's books, to be quite frank, and I thank them for that. I thank them for knowing that I love Maisie and would probably crash out if I didn't get one of their arcs. So I got the e-arc, and I try to read in publication order when I do get arcs. So I had a little while for this one, and closer to release, I got the audio, and when it was finally time for me to thankfully get to dive in, I had the audio too, so I got to do an immersive experience. And A, I love doing those, but B, I really love audiobooks. I think for me, especially because I've been sick, I think I was going to talk about this in my last video, and I don't remember if I did. So I'll do like a little rundown at the end of this video. So trigger warning, because I will be talking about COVID-19, chronic illness, and long COVID, the effects. I do believe it's actually called post-COVID long haul syndrome, but I'll talk about that at the end. So because I've been sick, I've been doing a lot more audiobooks because it's a little bit easier for me. That and reading physical books, mainly because my migraines are getting worse. So now I feel better. You can still see my girl wall actually here, and you can still, I don't think you can see, but I am building. I am building while I'm talking, which is a miracle. So I got the audio and I did the immersive experience, and honestly, I'm so glad. So glad I did. I do love doing immersive experiences where I'm listening and reading at the same time. I think it's really fun. It also feels like, to me, it just, I don't want to say I comprehend better, but like, it just makes me feel more, especially because this was I believe this was a dual narration, if I'm not mistaken. Double check for the building this. See if this was a dual narration. Believe I got this. I have to dig into my NetGalley app real quick. Let's see here. Okay, well, that doesn't tell me. So let me go to Storygraph, because that's where I know it will be. Maybe we'll see what tells me. Make random business. Okay, it was not but it was narrated by Ariella Crow, who did a great job. I loved it. And it was a lot of fun. I love doing the audiobook and reading, and I don't know, I think it added an extra layer for me that made me really, really love it. But honestly, it was hilarious. This book is so funny, and I love the cheekiness of it, and just how well, like, this literally, like, the cover, I kid you not, is their full dynamic. Like, Eva is such a black cat, and Riley is very much the golden retriever. He truly is. And that's kind of what I find so funny, is like, I love when, I don't want to say like the roles get reversed, but like when you see more of like the Black Cat-esque female main character. I've always loved that. I've always thought it's a lot of fun, just simply because like it's a different side and it's something that people don't really see as frequently in media or like in books. At least I don't see a ton of like the Black Cat female main characters as I do like the Black Cat male main characters. Um and I thought it was like a really, really, truly fun dynamic. I thought it was funny and I loved their banter. And I think their banter is literally one of the best parts of this. Just because like she's so sassy to him. And you can tell from like pretty early on that once they reconnect, like he's very much into this and like very much enjoying it and very much having a ton of fun with it. And she is so bothered that like she feels like he's not taking it seriously and stuff like that. So like it makes it so funny and so fun. And I love the way that Mazey's able to capture that so well. She just has this ability to make everything so funny. It's like just keep you flipping pages because once I started, I couldn't stop, especially with the audio. It really felt like I was with them. Honestly, I wanted to be with best friend because I thought she was funny. And I loved how sassy she was and how much she was like definitely not about to take this man's shit. And I love a woman who is like, no siree, Bob. You are not going to get one over on me. And she was trying so hard. And I loved that. And like, you all know I'm very much not a spoiler person, so I don't want to say any spoilers or anything like that. But just know that I did indeed think it was very funny. Especially considering, like, obviously this is a romance, so there's a happy ever after. But like you could tell she was trying so hard to deny her feelings. And I found that really funny and really entertaining. Just like in general, I think it was just really entertaining to me. Sometimes I struggle with seeing like where the pieces are. But if you would like to see where we're at so far, we have almost most. How cute she is. We're about to put the wheels on, which is one of my favorite hobbies. This is just very fun for me. So obviously I am building this hot dog truck because the name of Eva's podcast segment that she does is called Sausage Talk, and they have, you know, like either sausages or hot dogs or what have you, and I think that's very funny. I love the playoff of some of the shows that already have like YouTube channels and podcasts and all of that do stuff like this. As I mentioned earlier, like Hot Ones or Change Update, or I'm sure there's more. Those are just the two that I'm familiar with. And like, I think those kinds of things are very funny. It's this very entertaining premise to me, especially as someone who just in general loves food. And like, I love a good hot dog. I ain't even gonna lie. I can't do it Jennifer Coolidge voice, or I would do the whole you make me want a hot dog real bad. But again, I can't do impressions, so I'm not even gonna try. I'm not gonna subject you to the literal terrible impression that I would be doing. But I loved that Eva was trying so hard to prove herself, because I think that's something that like in general is a really relatable experience for, I would say, I don't want to say like most women, but just in general most people, but definitely in like women, especially those who are in male dominated fields. You know, you feel like you have to be 100 times better than the male counterparts to be taken seriously, and you could tell that that was what Eva was struggling with the most, and that's super relatable. Mazey's in dentistry, so I don't want to say I'm gonna guess, but it almost felt like she did indeed draw from her own experiences, or could have, talked to people and taken from their personal experiences. As someone who did go to medical school, I can say, like, it's a pretty male dominated field, or at the time it was. I mean, I'm in my early 30s, so I was looking at going to med school. And like my first year of college was 2011. So it wasn't as female heavy as it is now, which is great. It's fantastic. And I love that. But you could tell that she really draws on her own experiences, and it's relatable. It's relatable and it's admirable because, everybody wants to succeed in life. You would guess. And I found that really complimentary to, anybody who reads it. Like, you can relate to her because you do want to succeed and you do want to prove yourself. And especially in something like that, it becomes this feeling of like, okay, well, now I have to prove that I'm good enough for this. And I have to prove that I'm good enough for that, and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, it's relatable. And I loved it. Well, I loved Eva just in general. And I really related to her. Also, we finished the first bag, so we finished the actual, like, hot dog truck, which is adorable, in case you're wondering. Yes, I'm putting it really close so you can see it, and it's very cute. So we're about to start the second bag, which usually is just like stuff around the little hot dog stand. So we're gonna open the second bag.
Oh, it has a little kitty in it. Oh, that's fun. Oh, yeah. I love this.
But yeah, I really loved Riley, and like, I want to say, there's like a mention of, and even if there's not a mention, because I have really bad brain fog. We're not gonna go there. I have really bad brain fog, so it could have just been something that I was thinking, where it was like, Eva very much gave off the energy of, God, I am tired of dudes just getting a mic and doing a podcast. Like, bro, we don't need another male-centric podcast. And I was living for it, honestly, truly. I thought it was funny. And it's relatable. It gave me those vibes, and I loved that. I truly did. But I also really enjoyed Riley because you could tell that, like, his actions and his words matched. Oh heavens. It should go in there. Okay. Like what he said to Eva, he meant. And I really admire that, especially, in today's day and age. You want somebody who truly is, like, not only just saying things to you to, make you believe that that's what they think, but their actions back it up. And I think that's really important. And it was definitely the case for Riley. And I think just in general, he was very funny, a very likable main character. I think he might be one of my favorites. I can't even lie. He might be one of my favorite Mazey love interests. Just because he was so fun and so, like, flirty and exciting. And there's one scene in particular that, whoo, child, it got me. It really did. It's an elevator scene. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but goodness gracious, I was blushing for sure. I thought the chemistry of the two main characters was great. I thought it was funny. I thought it was fun. There are books like this that teach you things, and, like, not in an overt way, but, like, you see it with the way that Eva is trying so hard to advance in her career, in journalism, and prove, like, she's not just some, like nobody, or, that she wouldn't be good enough because she's a woman kind of thing. Like, she's trying to prove herself because she feels like being stuck, quote unquote, or like only being assigned to do sausage talk is like demeaning. And she wants to be like a serious journalist. And I really love that about this book. I think there's just so many little things that you pick up on that you really fall in love with. And Eva's tenacity is one of them. And like her determination and willingness to do what it takes, even if it's, something that she doesn't necessarily want to do. She does it because she does want to advance her career and she cares. And I relate to that. Like, I've always wanted to advance my career and be taken seriously. And, I think so many people can relate to that. Like, it's not just somebody in journalism thing. It's a pretty relatable thing. And I think that's another thing that Mazey's really good at, is she's really good at making her characters relatable. And I think this is another shining example of that, especially with both Eva and Riley. I think they're both relatable. I think, Riley's very much one of those people who will go after what he wants, and he's unapologetic about it. And it's very evident with the way he pursues Eva, the way he, approaches his podcast. And I really thoroughly enjoyed just their relationship and how it built and it's kind of how it rebuilt. I love the story that she told too that went viral. I think that's just really, really funny. I feel like I don't read a ton of like, just in general, books or like consume a ton of media where it's like a video goes viral. I think I've read one or two other books maybe like this. I would have to go like deep into the archives, but it felt like a much needed fun. It was a fun book. And I feel like in today's day and age, you need that fun, and Mazey achieved it. But she also was able to achieve having like those serious moments too. And, like the subtle lessons that you find out and stuff like that. And I think that's important. And Mazey's very good about that in all of her books. Her books are also pretty like diverse, and usually like in the neurodivergence, or she does have a YA that is sapphic, and she's she does have an adult that's sapphic. She's a YA with an autistic main character. She does do a lot of that. I think that's important. It's, why is this just sitting here? That's odd. Anyway, sorry about that. Yes, I am still building my Lego. I hate that you guys can't see it because this table isn't high enough, but yeah, I am still building the Lego. Don't fret. It's happening. I think I'm making the seats now for like the outdoor area. But yeah, I think Mazey does a great job at representing neurodivergence just in general, or even her sapphic book, Late Bloomer, is beautiful, and it's a beautiful representation of a sapphic relationship. And I really loved it. I've loved all of Mazey's books though, so I mean, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's great. Oh my goodness gracious, I think I'm done. I am indeed. So, I'm gonna set this up so that I can, pull it up. We have some chairs here. We have a man buying a hot dog. We have, the drink station and the condiment station. Also, there's a cat. Okay, let's see if I can do this. Oh goodness, yep. We're struggle bussing here. So we have the hot dog cart, obviously. There's some chairs here. There's the little kitty cat. The friends ones have like these adorable kitty cats, and I love them. We have like the condiment station with some extra hot dogs. We have our little drinky station and some seats. So yeah, we built the hot dog station. I am gonna put this out by where I will have. Well, actually, it's in the living room on our living room bookcase because Mazey is one of my favorite authors, and I talked about this briefly in another video where I was talking about how I've recently rearranged in here, obviously, because there's a lot of books that are gone. I still have to go through some, and my mom's gonna take the ones that like I'm very much either was on like the donate to Goodwill kind of thing. She's gonna take them into her office and see if anybody wants them and enjoy them. But I had a lot of fun making my little hot dog stand while talking about well, actually, I'm not done talking about it. I know I've yapped for quite a bit though. Just talking about like the joy that I got reading this, but there's also something, and I've talked about it a few times. I did a feature Friday on Mazey and talked about this. Mazey is a native to a city that's a couple of hours from me in Raleigh, and she tends to do events at Malaprops, which is a bookstore there. They took a pretty hard hit. Sorry, not Raleigh, Asheville, North Carolina. It's in Asheville, and they took a pretty hard hit with Hurricane Helene. And it's so nice to see them back open. But Mazey tends to go in there frequently. So I started this with A Brush with Love, and I would always pre-order the books, and I jokingly put on my pre-order for A Brush with Love, if you have time, Mazey, would you mind putting the lyric that you think matches from Taylor Swift's discography? Because I know Mazey's a big Swiftie, and so am I. So I love sharing these, and for well, actually, and this is so fitting. It's from I Wish You Would, and it's I Wish You Would Come Back, Wish I Never Hung Up the Phone Like I Did, which is so fitting for these two, because like you can, it's clearly in the context, it kind of gives me it's from Riley's point of view, but just in general, I think it applies to both of them, and it's such a great lyric and such a great descriptor of these two as a pair, as a couple, as a partnership. I loved the ending. I thought it was really, really sweet. I just, in general, the banter, the pacing, Mazey's voice, this was just fun. It was great. And it is everything I love in a rom-com. And it's probably one of my favorites of the year. I could not stop talking about it because I just had so much fun with it. Also, don't these two remind you of Amelia and Andrew Garfield when they did their chicken shop date? It was very much giving that energy. So if you watched that and enjoyed it, that's kind of the energy that these two give. Like the low key, like, I'm gonna kind of outwardly flirt with you, but we're not gonna tell you if it's real. So this is like second chance, kind of fake dating, but not really. Like it's such a fun book, and I had a great time reading this. I also love that I now have a little hot dog stand to go with well, actually, because it tickles me to no end. It really truly does. Like when I remembered that I had this and I got my physical copy, I was like, oh my god, how fun would it be to actually like sit down and make my little hot dog stand while talking about well, actually, like what a fun way to talk about a book. And I wish I could do this with like more Lego. I simply I don't have the room for them, but I do have a couple. I have another one that's like a space one. I don't know if or when I'll get to build it. And if I did do it while reviewing a book, I would probably talk about The Kiss Countdown by Ed Easton, which is phenomenal, and the male main character. So that one's a little bit bigger. So I don't know if I could be able to do it in like a 20-ish minute video, but I really love just in general talking about well, actually talking about Mazey, talking about how phenomenal she is as a writer. She just announced a new book, and I'm so excited for it. But well, actually, will always hold a special place in my heart. I loved this. It was the hug that I needed when I needed it. It made me laugh. There were a few tears shed, just like out of sheer happiness. Probably two of my favorite main characters Mazey has ever written. I just, in general, love this. Also, just this cover is beautiful. I loved the blue sprayed edges. I loved the cute little sausage talk logo. I think Mazey also has merch that I would not be opposed to buying something that said sausage talk on it. This was everything to me. I'm not even gonna lie. This was fun. I definitely rated it 5 stars. I have a full review up on Storygraph, Goodreads. I'm mainly a Storygraph user. That's my main platform. I love Storygraph. But it goes into probably more coherent detail than I did because I was just yapping about my love for this and how fun it was. I was also kind of probably hyperfixated on finishing my Lego, but I hope you enjoyed this one because I had fun doing this. I had fun talking about, well, actually, I had fun building a Lego, especially one that matches. So like, look how cute they look together. Look at that. They're so perfect. But yeah, I've loved doing this. I've loved being able to talk to you while doing something that's fun and whimsical and brings me joy. It's one of my other favorite things. I wish I could do it more. I wish I had more room for them. Ooh. Goodness gracious. You're getting tired of me. Also, I think you guys have probably noticed that I don't do like a ton of editing. So yeah, you're getting that yawn. I don't know what to tell you. But I had so much fun with this. I really hope you guys will read Well Actually, give it a chance, or read any of Mazey's books. Truly, they're a warm hug. They're all beautiful. I really hope that you read them and fall in love with them the way that I did. They mean a lot to me, and Mazey is one of my favorite authors. So definitely check out Well Actually. I'll say this again. Since I don't think I did this in my last video and I said I was going to. Yeah, welcome to Brain Fog, but this is the trigger warning part. Feel free to fast forward. I'm going to try to put a timestamp or skipping this if you would prefer not to hear about this. Why it has been so difficult for me to film. I think I may have I've briefly mentioned a couple of things. When my mom, grandma, and I went on our cruise, I came back and I ended up getting COVID and pneumonia at the same time. I was sick for weeks. And still, you'll notice I'm probably a little out of breath at this point because I've been yapping for a while. And I do still struggle a good bit with shortness of breath, labored breathing, fatigue. Fatigue has been a big one for me, obviously, brain fog. But I've seen a bunch of specialists. I still have to see specialists. We're trying to rule anything and everything else out. But both at this point, my primary care and my pulmonologist very much thinking that I am in the camp of for those people who have post-COVID long haul syndrome, aka long COVID. And I think it was once or twice before this, and it's never been like this. I mean, I stopped testing positive like early August. So it's been a good 6-7 weeks at this point of being sick. And I don't actually have symptoms of COVID. It's more so just the after effects. And I'm sleeping a ton. And it was really, really hard to try and find motivation. I'm trying really hard to do what they call deconditioning to recondition. So I'm trying to, I don't want to say force myself, but push myself a little more each day. I have really good days at some points, and I have really bad days, and it's a struggle for sure. And I think there's a lot that goes on with it, and it's real. It's definitely a disability. And it's been really, really hard and makes me feel bad because I really do enjoy doing this long form content and being able to go more in depth with my reviews and talk more about just the authors, or when I did my September wrap up, being able to dive into each of those. And it's more than just me posting and getting a little blip of something, or the video I did with Dylan Dyer and Danica Nava's cowboy books. Also, shout out to both of them because they both reshared that, and I think that's really cool. Um, but also, if you were a fan of The Wrong Paris on Netflix, go watch that video and go read those books. But yeah, so that is why I wasn't posting as much because I really just, there was no energy. I wasn't really reading a lot like I was, but I wasn't. My migraines had gotten worse. There was a lot going on. There still is. But I am slowly trying to find what will kind of be my new normal. At this point, the only thing that will get me there is time, grace, rest, and allowing myself to, give myself that grace and be able to say, like, hey, you are allowed to be sick. You're allowed to go rest. You're allowed to take your time. And I've never been good at that. So this is very new for me. Especially something like this where, like, I'm used to being able to just, like, yap and not be winded. And, like, I get winded for sure. But I don't want to bog you down with all of that. But that's why it was kind of touch and go for a while where I wasn't really filming a ton because I wasn't really reading a ton. I had no energy, and it was really hard. And, when I get these little bursts of energy, I do try to film, or like I try to come up with some ideas. I try to make sure that I'm still putting out content because I love books. I love being a content creator that talks about books and audiobooks and authors and writing, and like even sometimes I talk about music and the music that I love. And I'm getting there. It's a very slow process, especially like my pulmonologist was saying the other day, especially with as sick as I was and having both pneumonia and COVID at the same time. It's going to take me longer, and that's okay. I have to take myself grace, and I'm really, really bad at that. But I'm learning to be better, and I'm hoping that now that we are trending in the me starting to feel better, me starting to feel like I can be awake for more than like 4 or 5 hours a day, that I'm going to be able to film more. I'm trying to be consistent. Like, obviously, I'm going to put out videos. And I want to obviously grow this platform and be able to talk about books, especially diverse books, and get them in the hands to more people and get more people aware of them. And after this, who knows what I'm going to do. I think at some point I've like bounced around the idea of doing like a Q&A, or talking about like my stories from when I was a flight attendant, or like stuff like that. You guys did really seem to enjoy the the Get Ready With Me day in the life that I did. I'm probably going to do a couple of reviews from some of the October books, like Our Vicious Oaths, Berlin Trader. I will probably talk about some other books that I have, like, it's just going to depend. There's a few that I'd like to do some reading vlogs for, but we will see what happens. I'm still getting book mail. I looked at my UPS app today and was gobsmacked that people want to send me books. So that's still weird to me. I'm still like really, really new at like actually receiving physical books. I'm about to hit 4.3K on Instagram, which is crazy to me. I didn't know over 4,000 people would want to hear me yap or know my opinions about books, or even like the fact that I take pictures of them or talk about them. But it's been fun. And maybe I'll do like a writing update video. I don't know. You guys tell me what you want to see from me. I am just here yapping, talking about books, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope you guys will check out Well Actually. Feel free to also buy the hot dog food truck to go with Well Actually. And I hope you're reading something that's good. I hope you guys have had some great, great books this year. I've really had some absolute bangers. I have read some incredible books this year. And go read any of these books. Go read Well Actually. go do something that makes you happy. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me. It always makes me feel weird to do this, but if you like the video, feel free to show it some love and a little thumbs up. I don't know, it's down there or here. I don't know, man. Just down there somewhere. There's a thumbs up. If you want to like the video, go for it. If you like hearing me yap or the books that I'm talking about or want to see what's coming next, feel free to subscribe. Feel free to check out my link tree and check out my other social medias. I'm pretty active on Instagram and Threads. My Threads is chaos though, so please know that. I do also post every now and then on Substack. It could be just random rambling thoughts. I do have the first chapter of one of the books that I wrote there. If you want to go take a gander. Clearly the fatigue is setting in. But yeah, feel free to like, subscribe, share this with your friends. Go read Mazey's book. Once again, I can't say that enough. And thank you for being here. Thank you for being one of the friends of the Chan Chan. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!